Greetings, friends. I came across this article from 1985 Biblical Review, original biblical text reconstructed from newly found fragments. And when they're going through the Dead Sea Scrolls, a lot of times they can figure out texts that may have not made it into the canon that we have today, both Hebrew and the Septuagint. And this particular text only Josephus alluded to or summarized in Antiquities, so he knew about it. However, it didn't make it into the MT or the LXX or any of the English Bibles until this was found. And this is pretty amazing. And it tells about a threat out of 1 Samuel chapter 11. The scroll is called 4QSAMa. I believe that's what it is. Yes. And I'll be posting an awesome PDF that I found, so you can see some of the work that goes into analyzing these scrolls. And it's a rather long, meticulous process. And you can take a look at some of that. You can see the Hebrew text, and I found a really bad picture of it. The Dead Sea Scrolls were supposed to be posted online, but I guess they're still working on it in an Open Scrolls project, so we can have access to them. But I found a crappy picture online that I'm going to post, and you can look at it. Reading a section of this, before we had no idea why Nahash made the threats that he did, and why he did what he did without this text. So I have this English translation. It's Dead Sea Scrolls Bible. It doesn't give me the Hebrew, which is kind of crappy, but this is a good text if you trust the scholars, and they point out the differences between Dead Sea Scrolls, LXX, MT, and English translations. So they don't have the Hebrew with it, unfortunately. But this is from a text that's added on to chapter 11, and it starts, Nahash, the king of the Ammonites, oppressed the Gittites and the Reubenites viciously. He put out the right eye of all of them and brought fear and trembling on Israel. Not one of the Israelites in the region beyond the Jordan remained whose right eye Nahash, king of the Ammonites, did not put out, except 7,000 men who escaped from the Ammonites and went to Jabesh Gilead. And then the regular text starts. Then, after about a month, Nahash, the Amorite king, went up and besieged Jabesh Gilead. So all the people of Jabesh said to Nahash, "Make a covenant with us, and we will serve you." But Nahash, the Amorite, said to them, "I will make it with you on one condition, that I gouge out the right eye of every one of you, and so disgrace Israel." And this is where Saul, he takes a yoke of oxen, cuts them up into pieces, and he passes it out, saying, "You better show up for holy war, or we're going to come looking for you." Because a lot of times in the early tribal league, some tribes showed, and some tribes did not, which is pretty interesting. So I'll post that link to that PDF file and a picture of it, so now we know why that war was started, and where before we didn't, and it was only alluded to and summarized in Josephus' Antiquities, but it was not in the Masoretic text nor the LXX. So this is one area where the Dead Sea Scrolls actually added something and cleared up some ambiguity and helped us to better understand the literature. So this is just one example of how important the Dead Sea Scrolls are to biblical studies. So take care, friends, and remember, if everybody's thinking alike, then somebody isn't thinking